I'm standing beside the Danube River, Lauren. In fact, I'm almost standing in the Danube River. If you can't see immediately how full it actually is, let me show you. Right behind me here is what ordinarily would be a public walkway. Beside it, on that side, is a road, and you can see the street lights alongside what was or would have been a road, and there are some traffic signs just peeking up above the water level away in the distance there. And over here is a wall that forms the outermost flood defences in this central part of Budapest, and you can perhaps see that there's still a metre or so give there to allow for the waters to rise if they are going to rise. They expect them to rise a little bit, but not that much, perhaps by another 6 or so centimetres before the peak is reached at some point on Sunday evening. So it looks as though the flood defences of the central part of the city will hold. They're having quite a lot of problems though with the underground infrastructure here, the sewage system, the underground transport system, and so on. And there has been, during the course of the last few days, quite a lot of damage caused to riverside communities elsewhere in Hungary on the Danube's course. The Danube has brought damaging floods to Hungary before, but they've never seen the water as high as this. By Sunday morning, it had already reached historic levels, 2.5 meters above the average, and the peak is yet to come.
There is a little building in the end of our garden, and there was a sign where the highest high water was. It was in 1878, and now we are 15-20 centimeters above that sign. So it is absolutely the worst I know, and the worst is in my life of my parents, and worst is the life of my grandparents.
It's very hard to live under these circumstances, but we must remain calm and defend our homes.
It could cause real problems in the capital, Budapest. Flood defences here are said to be capable of protecting the most vulnerable areas, but parts of the underground train system have been deliberately flooded to relieve water pressure, and there's already a stench where sewage systems have begun to overflow. Prime Minister Viktor Orbán has been visible in the flood zone, where thousands of volunteers and rescue workers have spent days filling sandbags and building defences.
The flood is now approaching Budapest, the heart of the country. 2 decisive days are ahead of us, because the danger will be where most people live and where most things of value are at risk. It is now when we have to gather all our strength.
For days now, along the Danube's course, reaching Hungary on its way to the Black Sea, people have watched the water levels rise. They knew the floods were coming. They've seen the havoc the water has caused in Germany, in Slovakia and in Austria before it reached here. What they don't yet know is how bad things are likely to get. Back in 1838, the Danube killed 150 people and left tens of thousands homeless. Since then, sizable floods have come in 2002 and in 2006. Many people have left their homes this time. The Prime Minister has called them the worst floods of all time, though remarkably, the damage has so far been contained.
So, Jonah, presumably everyone keeping a nervous eye on the water levels and also on the weather forecast.
Yes, that seems to be the critical thing, Lauren. Viktor Orbán, the Prime Minister, said the next day or two would be crucial in terms of seeing where the flood levels do peak and whether, of course, they were going to threaten the city. That doesn't seem to be the case, judging by that wall over there, but there are far flimsier flood defences all along the course of the Danube in this city and elsewhere as well, and they're all under pressure, and the question is how long will that water pressure last? How quickly will these waters dissipate? Because there are rivers, there are other structures, there are dam walls and levees under enormous pressure, and they won't hold indefinitely, and that's where the rainfall will come in, whether the rains that brought all of this water down will hold off long enough for it to dissipate. Again, the hope is, and the Prime Minister has said as much, that during the course of the week, of the coming few days, the waters will slowly dissipate without causing too much damage, and that, of course, he would like everyone to believe is a testament to not just the forewarning that the government had here, but their greater preparedness after the lessons of the past.
OK, Jonah, thanks very much. Jonah Hull reporting live on those floods in Hungary.